Consistency is about taking your practice skills to games and performing like you know you can, but that doesn't always mean that you'll perform at your peak or have a personal best. Consistency is the ability to perform with confidence, trust, and composure. Being consistently good at anything isn't easy. Whether it be sports, playing an instrument, or playing a video game. Being consistently good at something is something we all strive towards, but most people don't know where to start. Before I give any tips or any pointers, I want to say if you're not actively playing this game a lot, you will not get better, and you will not build consistency. That's like step one to becoming consistent. There's a reason why coaches like Woohoojin don't just coach or VOD review anyone under a certain rank or threshold of hours played. That's because honestly, it's a waste of time. Because typically lower ranks just don't put in the time and effort and want someone better than them to magically make them better in one session. So if you're wondering why you're not good at the game but you don't play it or practice it often, well, there's your issue. Now, before we dive deeper into the game, I want to take your focus out of the game and into where you're sitting right now, or standing if you have a standing desk, weirdos. A major part of being consistent is found in repeated repetition or practice, so let's start by sitting down at your desk the right way. While there isn't necessarily a right way to sit down at your desk, there is a wrong way. And the wrong way is not knowing how you're set up and changing it constantly. For the longest time, every time I sat down in my chair, I always felt a little off or felt different from the last time that I previously played, and I couldn't figure out why. So all I did was take note of what I found comfortable and made sure to replicate it as much as possible. This included things like posture, arm position, seating positions, and chair position. I literally put tape on the floor where my legs of my chair were, so I made sure I was aligned with my monitor. If you find yourself changing your seating setup even slightly, you'll probably have varying results. The point of all of this is so that you build repetition and are comfortable when playing, because that can affect your gameplay. Now, something else that can affect your consistency is your hardware. I believe to a certain extent that your hardware can hold you back from playing well. Obviously, if you're playing on a lower end PC with frame stutters, lag, low refresh rate monitor, etc., playing consistently well is difficult because you have to account for things that are out of your control. I say to a certain extent because I was on a lower end PC, but I still made it to Diamond, but I plateaued. I then later upgraded to a 240Hz monitor and got a 3060 Ti, and the results were night and day. Now, I know not everyone is fortunate to have such a luxury, but at the bare minimum, I think you want to have a 144Hz monitor with at least 150 constant frame rate. I also personally don't believe that a keyboard and mouse is that important, though I know some will disagree. All I'm saying is that I hit LEM on CSGO with a trackball on my mouse. Just saying. Lastly, before we hop in game, we gotta check your mental. Your mental before hopping on the game can and will affect your ability to play. My rule of thumb is if I feel off, whether because I'm sick, mad, tired, or sad, I just won't play. We know how toxic this game can be. If the game is hard enough to deal with when you're in a good mood, it'll only get worse when you're in a bad mood. And that will just make me even more tilted than usual, which will lead to a fast drop in RR. When you're angry, whether you'd like to admit it or not, you quite literally lose the ability to make rational decisions. I'd bet money that you'd at least once in your career angrily took a stupid fight just because you were mad. So just do yourself a favor and don't play. Besides, taking a break from the game is good every now and then. Now, with all of that said, let's finally get into the game. Starting with aim. Just like any skill you want to be good at, you need a proper warm-up. But what's important is that the warm-up is something you'll actually do consistently. Consistent practice results in consistent performance. If you pick a super long, in-depth warm-up routine that takes 30 plus minutes to complete, but you don't do it every time you hop on the game, in my opinion, it's a waste of time. For the people who watch my streams, they know I have a very simple routine I do every single time I hop on the game that involves me shooting bots, and it takes less than 10 minutes to complete. It works very well for me in Immortal lobbies. But Fonz, my aim is always horrible. Well, like I already said, consistent practice results in consistent performance. If your aim is bad and you don't work on it, then it won't get better. Actually sit down and work on the areas you feel you lack in. And if you struggle despite all your efforts, it may be because you're not properly practicing. Or chances are your aim isn't the actual issue. It could be movement, peeking, etc. This has been the case for many of the players I VOD review in my Discord. But practicing mechanics and aim will only get you so far. Valorant is a game where using your brain will get you much further in the ranks than aim. which is just another reason why you need a good mental. Just think about it. There are 20 plus agents in the game, all with unique abilities that grant you opportunities to blind, reveal, and stun people for easy headshots. And with this wide variety of agents, it makes every game different from the previous one, making it difficult to have consistent, repetitious games and learn from it. So, how do you handle this? The ability to adapt. The best advice I can give is through this quote: "The path to victory lies through the eyes of the enemy." If you can read your enemies, you will know exactly how to beat them. My greatest success as an IGL is my ability to read what my enemies are gonna do in order to create a strategy that puts my team in control. If you've played this game long enough, you know what to expect on certain maps. And if you aren't doing anything to counter these common strats, you're allowing the enemies to control the tempo and do whatever they want. So stay in control. Put yourself in positions where enemies don't want you to be in, because chances are, if you're low elo, the most comfortable places you play in are the positions that the enemies are gonna expect you to be at, which makes it easy for them to clear you out with util and put you right where they want you to be. But also going back to what I said earlier about every match being different from the last, one game you might be popping off as Jett on Ascent, and the very next match you might play Jett on Ascent again, but now you aren't having the same success as before. It may not be because you're inconsistent, but it may also be because you aren't adapting to your new opponent. Just because something worked one game doesn't mean it will work the next game. In order to become a consistently good player, you need to have the ability to adapt to the situation and be flexible in the way you play. This involves the way you play on your own and with your teammates. To go along with this too, you need to be comfortable and confident playing in various ways and positions to pull this off. The best way to boost your confidence in anything in life is to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Put yourself out there and try new things. If it doesn't work, that's okay, because that's how you learn. If you don't leave your comfort zone, you will never achieve your peak performance. Don't worry about what your teammates will think, because chances are you probably won't play with them ever again. So don't let these random people hold you back from achieving the rank you want to achieve. And when you do begin to experiment a bit within the game, you should build strategies around what works best for you. When you build a level of comfort and confidence with these agents and build simple strategies around the agent you play on particular maps, you will begin to see much more success. The point of all of this information is to get you comfortable and confident in your ability to play. Confidence is such an important thing to have, but many people struggle to find confidence in themselves. This can be a topic for a whole nother video, but I will say this: I would rather have a teammate who's 100% confident in themselves and isn't afraid of making mistakes than someone who isn't confident and is afraid to do things on their own. This is because when it comes down to the wire and you need someone to rely on, who do you think is going to perform better? The one with confidence who isn't afraid to mess up, or the one who isn't confident and is afraid to make a play? I hope these tips help you get started on your journey to become a more consistent player and help you reach your shiny new rank. As always, if you feel like I missed something, feel free to let me know and discuss in the comments down below. Once again, thank you so much for all the love and support. If you like the video and want to see more, be sure to check out the channel and subscribe. Also, if you're interested in having a VOD review session, be sure to join my Discord and follow me on Twitch. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.